In November 2022, a 30-year-old CEO tweeted that his company's customer funds were safe. 4 days later, that company was bankrupt and $8 billion of customer money was gone. He ran the exchange from a shared penthouse in the Bahamas alongside a small group of people he mostly knew from college or a past relationship. At its peak, his company was valued at $32 billion. Politicians took his calls. Regulators called him a model of the industry. Tom Brady had equity. 10 days after the tweet, he was out of a job, his company was in bankruptcy court, and federal prosecutors were building a criminal case. This is the story of Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, and how billions of dollars of customer deposits disappeared into a hedge fund almost nobody was watching. Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, as most people called him, didn't come from crypto. He came from Jane Street, one of Wall Street's most sophisticated quantitative trading firms. In 2017, he left to found Alameda Research, a crypto trading firm that made money exploiting price differences between exchanges. 2 years later, in 2019, he founded FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange, a place where people could buy, sell, and trade crypto. The pitch to investors was compelling. A trading firm founder building the exchange he wished existed, with the technical sophistication actual traders wanted. FTX grew fast. By 2021, it was one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world. SBF cultivated a specific public image: the rumpled t-shirt, the disheveled hair, the 8-hours of video games a day interviews, a genius too busy building the future to care about appearances. He became crypto's political face in Washington. He testified before Congress about how the industry should be regulated. He was one of the largest political donors in the country in the 2020 cycle. Regulators and lawmakers treated him as a trustworthy voice explaining a complicated industry to them. That trust is what makes the next part matter. Here's the part most casual coverage skipped. FTX, the exchange, and Alameda Research, the trading firm, were supposed to be separate. Customers deposited funds onto FTX to trade. Alameda was just one trading firm among many using the exchange. Except it wasn't separate, Alameda had privileged access to FTX's systems, including, prosecutors would later say, the ability to draw on FTX customer funds essentially without limit. Money that customers deposited to trade crypto was quietly being used to cover Alameda's trading positions, fund SBF's venture investments, and cover political donations and real estate purchases. For a long time, this worked because crypto prices were rising and customers weren't all trying to withdraw their money at once. It's the same structural vulnerability every collapse in this genre eventually shares. As long as nobody asks for their money back all at once, the gap doesn't show. In early November 2022, the crypto publication CoinDesk published Alameda's balance sheet. It showed something alarming. A huge portion of Alameda's assets weren't dollars or established cryptocurrencies. They were FTT, a token FTX itself had created and largely controlled the value of. Alameda's financial foundation was substantially built on a token its sister company had invented. That reporting caught the attention of Changpeng Zhao, CZ, the CEO of Binance, FTX's biggest competitor, and an early FTX investor who still held a large FTT position. CZ announced Binance would sell its FTT holdings, citing recent revelations. That tweet triggered a bank run, at a scale the exchange couldn't handle, because the money wasn't actually all there. On November 8, FTX halted withdrawals. Binance briefly announced an intent to acquire FTX, then walked away within a day after looking at the actual books. On November 11, 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy. John J. Ray III, the same restructuring expert who had overseen the wind-down of Enron 2 decades earlier, was brought in as the new CEO. His court filing about what he found remains one of the most quoted lines in corporate collapse history. In nearly 40 years of legal and restructuring work, he said, he had never seen such a complete failure of corporate controls. There was no reliable list of who worked for the company. Corporate funds were used to buy real estate for executives. Financial records were incomplete or missing entirely. Roughly $8 billion in customer funds was unaccounted for. SBF was arrested in the Bahamas in December 2022 and extradited to the United States. His trial in October 2023 revealed testimony from his own inner circle, people who had once run the company alongside him, describing how customer funds were treated as a shared pool of money available for whatever Alameda or SBF personally needed. He was convicted on 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy. In March 2024, he was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. Here's what made FTX different from a typical fraud. Almost nobody outside the company could actually verify what was happening, because crypto exchanges in 2022 operated with essentially no independent audits, no deposit insurance, and minimal regulatory oversight compared to traditional banks. Customers were trusting a company's own word about their own solvency. SBF's public image, the disheveled genius, the effective altruism framing, the political access, functioned the same way Theranos's blue-chip board did. It substituted for verification. People extended trust based on how credible someone seemed, not on independently confirmed facts. The pattern again: when the people best positioned to catch a problem have the least incentive to look closely. That's not an accident. It's usually the entire design. Next week, the accounting trick that let a 150-year-old company hide $50 billion in debt, and how it collapsed in a single weekend and helped trigger a global financial crisis. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Sources for this one are linked in the description.